Hi flower farmers, my name is Elizabeth and welcome back to the Flower Farm. So today we are talking about my 5 favorite flowers to grow as new cut flower farmers. The next one on the list are giant marigolds. Yes, those big, puffy, fluffy, golden gems. I love them. They're super easy to grow like everything else in our list. They are very tolerant of drought and they're tolerant of poor soil. As a matter of fact, just like the other varieties we've already talked about, the better the soil and the more nutrient filled the soil is, sometimes the more green you get and not quite so many blooms. So once again, marigolds are in that group that they're not hard to kill, but they're very tolerant of different soil types and tolerant of drought conditions, which we often find ourselves, no matter how great of a flower farmer you are, there are years when we have drought. Same thing here in Montana. Anyway, super easy to grow from seed, and like some of the other varieties we've already mentioned, I usually almost always absolutely start my marigold seeds in the house first under lights. It does take them a hot minute to germinate, but once they get going, they move pretty quickly. The reason, as we've already discussed, that I start almost all of my flower seeds in the house is that because we really here in Northwest Montana, Zone 4B, only have about 90 days of growing time. And so it's better for me, or at least it ensures a quicker bloom time and bloom, if I go ahead and start the seeds inside my house so that the plants go out as a mature flower plant, instead of starting fresh from seed. So almost always, if I do it that way, I am almost always for sure to get blooms in the first part of July, instead of waiting the whole 60 to 90 days and not getting blooms until August or sometimes September. You know, it's not that uncommon for us to have a hard freeze that first week of September. So the earlier we can get blooms in the summer, in that early 90 days, the better. Marigolds fall into that category too. Start them in the house, put them out when they're a couple of inches tall, 4 or 5 inches tall, and then let them go. So something we need to talk about, which I haven't talked about too much in the other 5 of the other list of varieties that are my favorite varieties to grow as a new flower farmer, is that the more you pinch them, the more branching you're going to get with marigolds, zinnias, cosmos, amaranth. We haven't even talked about amaranth yet. Not so much the sunflowers, especially with the Pro Cut series, because once you cut them, they're done. But the other 3 or 4 varieties we've talked about, the more you cut them, the more you pinch them, the more you harvest them, the more branching you get. And it's the same thing with the marigolds too. So as far as harvest goes, you can pretty much harvest a marigold at any time, as long as the petals are able to be seen. They have already lifted off of the main center area and the center of the flower itself. However, you get the longest vase life, and you actually get you're ensured that the flower is going to completely open up if you harvest the marigold when they are pretty much fully open and just the center is tight. So you can see the openness of the flower itself, except for the very center is a little bit more tight than the rest of the flower. That way you know for sure that you're going to get a really nice 7 to 10 days worth in the vase, which is wonderful. The orange, some people find obnoxious, but most of my customers love that orange in August and September, especially as the fall colors are coming on. It really adds a nice pop to bouquets. Like I was saying before, a lot of people don't really care for the scent, and what I have noticed, a lot of the scent is in the leaves and not so much in the bloom itself. So once you harvest your marigolds, if you strip all the leaves off, you most often don't have that very heavy scent or odor, or whatever you want to call it, that marigold scent that some people find offensive. I have never had anybody complain as long as I strip the leaves off, almost all the leaves off of the flower. Okay, I'm sure there's a lot of questions you might have about marigolds. They're super, super easy to grow. I love them. I can't get enough of them. My customers love them. And it also is in the list of the 5 easiest flowers that I would grow as a new flower farmer. If you have any questions, of course, put it in the comments. and we'll address those in the next video. Okay, one more left.